All right. So just the last point. When I talking about my oldest brother with the whole pedophile thing, I do want to call this video. I think I should title it "Suffering from Secondhand Trauma." I want to try to explain it like that. So I think I put secondhand trauma. Trauma. So basically, I feel like so it's four of us. I'm the youngest of four. So the third oldest, me and him had the same mother and father. I believe he's suffering from secondhand trauma. So I say that to say because back when I was 6 and 7 years old, I was being sexually assaulted by my oldest brother. So my oldest brother is 6 years older than me. So given that he's 6 years older than me, he 12 years old, all that. And I wanted to kind of explain all that because, well, to kind of explain from my brother's side too, imagine, it's one thing that has happened to me, I'm going through it. And it's another thing to where he also, even from that young age or even younger, he was, he's my big brother, so he want to protect me and be there for me. So imagine him having to sit there on the same bed next to me while that's happening. He has to play, he's like 16 months older than me. So he's having to play dumb or play like nothing's happening. I guess he had like a toy in his hand or something he was playing with in his hand as this is happening to me. So he got to play dumb, play stupid, and act like nothing's happening. He's literally probably a foot or less from me, and he's witnessing that. So imagine that as you're the big brother. We don't have our father's not present. I think at this time, all three of our fathers, because our mother had three different baby daddies. So imagine being the big brother trying to look out for your little brother, but then that's happening. You don't got no control over that. And to give more examples, I'm going to give more examples of what to prove my oldest brother. So it's four of us. So the oldest one to prove that he's the pedophile and the rapist, whatever, and he sexually assaulted me, and there's other cases where he's doing this with other underage people or minors. But right before I get to that, I'm going to speak on my brother's secondhand trauma. It was a scenario where, I don't know, I think it's happened before the fact. I think it was a time where I guess my oldest brother was getting jumped in school, and so I guess if my oldest brother's 6 years older than me, he's like 5 years or so older than him. He's getting jumped at school, and then everybody kind of slapping him in the head, and getting mad at him why he's not helping. Why is he not helping his brother? But these are older people fighting his older brother. So he's going through that type of stuff. And then the oldest brother, it was a scenario where him and another guy, I guess they peed in a bottle. So we were still I don't know if it was, I guess this maybe happened before the situation with me happened. But, they peed in a bottle and they tricked him into drinking it, so, and then that subject has been brought up a few times, as we were kids. So, he's already being kind of tortured and tormented by his older brother, different dads. And then, so back to my oldest brother. So that happened with me when I was 6 and 7 years old. It's happened numerous times. It happened on multiple occasions. And then it stopped, after 7. But then he tried me again one more time. I was in middle school. I think I had just got home from middle school. I was 6th or 7th grade. I remember him picking me up and choking me by my neck in the hallway, trying me. And then he said how my facial expression, the fear on my face, how I was scared and shit. And then he just stopped. He was choking. Mind you, he got me picked up, choked up in the air. I'm in middle school, 6th or 7th grade. And mind you, he's 6 years older than me. So that happened. That was the last time for those type of scenarios with me and him. But in middle school, there were multiple times where he's 6 years older than me. So whether it was 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, it's different times where, say if we have some friends come over or some girls come over, we try to talk to them. My first time having sex with a girl, my first sexual encounter is in 6th grade. And then, with everything we was doing, young, doing shit we wasn't supposed to be doing. So, but he's having sex with the homegirls and all the girls. Like say if it's a say if it's an after school program or something like that, they come over to the house, or or if it's a girl like a friend that I've been liking for a while. It's been scenarios with numerous girls that he's having sex with that's in middle school and he's in high school or older. So, whatever the math is on that, it's still, but basically this happened numerous times. He's having sex with, younger chicks. That's, in middle school. And, so they're in my grade, and I'm in 6th to 8th grade. And like I said, he's 6 years older than me. And then fast forward to his first wife. So after that, that's maybe what, let's say in the next 5 to 10 years after that, he's with his first wife. It was a random conversation me and my mama was having. I had never spoken about the sexual assault I had been through as a kid. So me and my mom on the phone, and she mentioned how the girl was saying, oh yeah, so his first wife had 5 kids. None of them was his. She had already had 5 kids previous to him with multiple, baby fathers. The youngest, I think the youngest who was a boy and a girl, I can't remember which one was the youngest. But to my knowledge, the girl was the youngest. I remember my mom, we were on the phone, she's like, yeah, that girl, she was kind of like talking about, yeah, that girl was saying that Jamal saying that he touched on her. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it happened because I've been through that with him. And then, I've been through that with him, and I seen what happened in middle school. And then now that he's married, now, okay, I guess I see why he wanted to marry her and her daughters. Because she had, 4 daughters, so 2 twins, then the oldest, and then the youngest girl, and then there was a boy in there somewhere. But this dude is bisexual, gay, bisexual, whichever. So it's whatever to this dude. He's just a certified. It's anything goes. So I feel bad because I waited so long. I spoke about my situation 27 years later. So I feel bad because now he has 3 biological kids. He has 1 son and 2 daughters. And I'm sure one of them either is already being victimized or getting ready to be victimized. The boy and the girls. And with my second oldest brother, I feel bad that I didn't really talk about it or say anything because he thinking life is sweet. He's not knowing that I've been going through this. And then the third oldest, he's been through different stuff as well. But what am I trying to say? You could classify him as going off the deep end or going crazy or acting crazy sometimes. So I say all that because, so we kind of wrote him up. I kind of stopped messing with him, but because he would kind of lash out at everybody and act a certain way. But mind you, I had buried all that stuff that happened in the past. I buried all that stuff in my memory. So I didn't really equate the secondhand trauma that my brother, so the third oldest, the same brother that has the same father, we got the same mother and father. I didn't equate to all the stuff he'd been through with that. That happening to him, he was already kind of flying, not knowing how to deal with that stuff. I didn't know how to deal with it either. I just suppressed it. So saying all that to say, I feel bad that my second oldest brother, he think life's sweet because he doesn't know the stuff I've been through. And then when I eventually brought it up 27 years later, he thought I was making stuff up, being delusional and all this other stuff. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And why would that be your first response? Well, I guess because he's in denial. That's the best thing I can come up with. He's in denial. He don't want that to be true about his oldest brother, but and I shielded him from that all these years, and I blame myself. But think about it. Let's just use common sense. This is a grown adult in his 30s going on 40s. And this is how he's rationalized with it. So imagine how they would have responded to me when I was 6 and 7 years old. So, Imagine how they would have treated me. Because even when I put it to my mom, she took like 9 months. She took like 9 months to even pretty much, hey son, I'm sorry about that. She kind of was pretty much. It felt more so like she eventually apologized about that situation growing up, going through that, but she kind of was hurried up to apologize to sweep it under the rug to get rid of it. That was really more so what the apology felt like. I guess whomever put that bug in her ear, and I wish these people would just not y'all just stop being cowards and just tell me, just talk to me. Like I ain't gonna kill you. If you're not trying to harm me, I'm not gonna harm you. It's that simple. Um, so I wish So she eventually, yo, I'm sorry about that happening to you. If you would have just told me, I would have just. It's already happened though. Well, one, you wouldn't have been able to do shit about it. That's one. And two, it probably would have made it worse and made him more mad at me. And he probably would have killed me as a kid. And three, what was three? I don't know, but yeah, saying I should have told her. She would have made him stop. She's working too. She's her work schedule. She's working as a custodian, as a janitor at like a middle school or elementary or something like that. She's working from like 12 in the afternoon to like 9 or 10 at night. That's a big ass block. You ain't gonna be able to do shit. I'm gonna be tortured for all these hours until you get home. You're not gonna be able to do shit. Don't even miss me with that dumbass shit. And like I say, that would have if I told what was going on, that would have made it worse. And because he was bullying me from even before that. Like I remember one time, because I was, and part of helping me to talk about this, I started thinking like I've always been like kind of clever, intelligent. I would have been really inspired to be, on a higher level. I was always like a smart kid, pretty much younger. Even one scenario I remember how I was clever enough to figure out. We was living in the projects. They were smoking in the house, or he was smoking. I don't know what the fuck. But I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I was able to just figure it out quickly. Like, oh, nah, he threw mind you, I was with my mom. Me and my mom we was somewhere. We left to go to the store or something, and I was able to quickly figure out, man, this dude threw the whatever he was lighting on fire or smoking. He threw that in the trash can. So I was quickly able to be. I wanted to be a detective actually at one point, but with society, you know how you're so afraid to want to be the police and all this other stuff because of black society. You know how that goes. I kind of threw that out the window because I want to be. I don't want to be a seller. I want to be real. That type of stuff. So yeah, they and I think even from that point on, like I don't from that point on, they would be bullying me, mostly him. They would just be kind of ganged up with him, and they kind of bully me a little bit. And I think probably at that point, because I was, like I said, I was like 2 or 3 years old. I think at that point he didn't like me, so I had went through the prison and I went through that prison orphan, foster care. I've been going through that prison stuff since I was a kid, like since 6 years old, because the school system is a prison, a pipeline. I was bullied there, and all that other BS, all the other torture stuff that go on there. I was prepped. My mom kind of let them prep me for the prison pipeline by putting me in the SLD classes and the slow learning disability classes and all that stuff. I was just doomed. I was doomed from the beginning, and I kind of pushed through it. I kind of peeped all this stuff happening, in real time, and I just kind of had to just deal with that shit. I had to deal with all this shit. Just imagine that. You being sexually assaulted at a young age. You being prepped for the prison, the pipeline. You going through the bullying and the prison, because the public school system and most schools can be like going through prison. It's very similar. The design. The earlier designs were built just like a prison. You ride the same school buses, all of that. Then I'm going through like I said, going through the sexual assault with as kids and all this other stuff, and having to deal with this raggedy ass family, all this bullshit. So, and for anybody who meets me or anybody who knows me, most people are gonna be like, I'm really cool, calm, and collected. But like my friends and family who like really close, who were close to me. I would be like the wild one in the group. I'd be more, adventurous, risk-taking kind of stuff, exploring. But back to my third oldest brother. Yeah, he's been suffering from secondhand trauma with all that because, of course, he's been going through the bullying from the same person. Then we go to the school system. I think he was in like speech classes when we were younger. So yeah, man, it's been a rough road. Thankfully, I mean, I was able to make it through fairly decent headed. Like I could have been crashed out. Like that's the easiest thing to do is crash out. But I learned that at a younger age too. Going through all this stuff, it's the easiest thing you can do is crash out. And I chose not to. So I've been pretty level headed in general, and then just being a tall black man, darker, just the shit we go through this life. It's very sad. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah, my brother, he been suffering from secondhand trauma. I mean, I've been going, I've been suffering too. I'm not against therapy. I think we all should go to therapy. I've tried like one or two sessions before. I'm not against going to it in the future. But I just want to kind of put that out there because, like I say, I got nieces and nephews. I hate that I kind of blame myself because I didn't say anything before because now he has kids. I don't know what he's doing to those kids. And then his wife I think she had 3 kids. His second wife that he's with currently right now, I think she had 3 kids before him. And I think it's 1 kid and then 2 daughters. I know when the 2 daughters that are not his, when they were younger, they were just, regular. But now I notice after those years, the older daughter, she kind of dressed more tomboyish. Like, I don't know if she's bisexual or she's gay. I don't know what she is, but I think he been doing something to her. And then that made her like, I think that's a lot of girls. I think a lot of girls end up becoming gay like that or bisexual because of that. And even all my girl cousins are bi. Like, my girl cousins are bi. And I think it was some situations with them, too. Like, he was the older cousin. With the girl cousins, it's 5 girl cousins, and 4 of them are gay. Or bi, or lesbian. I don't know what to officially call it, but I think it's like 4, something to that extent. All of them pretty much, everyone except one cousin is not, like, strictly into girls. So... and I think he had something to do with that too. So, saying all that to say, hey, it is what it is. I ain't running from this shit no more. Like, I'm gonna just face this shit head on, basically. What come my way, come my way. I ain't worried about that no more. I've been living my life. I'm in Thailand right now. Been traveling in Southeast Asia for the last 6 months. Pretty much I'm gonna be going back to the States soon, eventually, in next month or 2. So, hey, I'm just going to face this shit head on. Like, hey, like I said, what come my way, come my way. The problem isn't dying young. The issue is living too long and not preparing for it. So, that's all I can say.